guys are talking about, you were talking about some other, the language. I'm with you on that, on language. I want to go on a whole thing on that.
I mean, Jeff goes on these tears like he's a real H.L. Mencken, like really thinks that everyone should be, going about talking like a steampunk person. Otherwise, that means that we're regressing.
We should use our gigantic... The English language is one of the most expansive vocabularies of all time. It's one of the biggest vocabularies ever made. And we don't fucking use it.
I'd like to use it more.
Huh?
I'd like to use it more.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I will, but I will. So I think where I agree with Jeff is that there's a danger in getting trained by media and each other that everything is either awesome or lame. If there's no more words for different kinds of awesome, you're getting trained to choose between Pepsi and Coke. They're fooling you into not realizing that there's a difference between corn syrup and water. So linguistically, we need to think outside the box. But that is exactly why I bristle and freak out, get very uncomfortable when people campaign and parade and things in celebration of just scrubbing out those couple little words, because it's like you don't even see where that stops. You just you think that when you don't make up words for a living, like maybe it's harder to see how you can't just point at something across on the other side of the room and go, I want that potted plant out of here. Now the apartment's going to be perfect. That's not how it works. Like you're free or you're not. You come out of the womb with the freedom of speech. The Constitution gets drafted up by some lawyers and says you have freedom of speech. Next thing that happens is, unless you say fire in a crowded theater. Next thing that happens is, unless you say this thing and that thing. We can all agree that this would be a terrible thing to say. Yes, okay, all in favor of eliminating it. Whatever, man. This is why. What a boring conversation.
But it's not boring. I'm right there with you, Dan.
But it's the same thing. We're talking about a binary idea that there's good and there's bad. There's Pepsi, there's Coke, there's straight or there's gay.
I don't like non-lateral thinking. But here's the thing. Yeah, I also don't like people that aren't verbal thinkers necessarily, who think that they shouldn't speak because they don't have the same kind of word power. I don't like those people feeling censored by smart people. I don't like people being bullied because they don't know how to use an apostrophe. I don't think that someone who speaks great truths is necessarily going to be the most articulate person in the world. I think that the use of 7 words, if there's only 7, we can still create a revolution, and someone can use those 7 words in an order that's going to make everybody flip over cop cars.
There's a way to speak wrong so well that you're amazing, like Yogi Berra. Like if you go online and look up Yogi Berra quotes, he malapropped all the time, and malapropisms was a Shakespeare character, malaprop, and he constantly said things wrong, and it was using the language perfectly, and you can't tell at some point did he say it wrong on purpose or by accident, but because he said something really, really funny, really, really, really good.
I was going to tie this in. I played baseball at Arizona State, number 1. Played there, started.
What position?
I was a pitcher.
I could see you as a pitcher.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you're 10% catcher.
All right. Thanks a lot. Good night, everybody.
No, come on.
We might have the name of our episode now. Aren't we all 10% catcher in some way?
So So I think some of that comes from being in that jock world, not being in that the artist world. I definitely have those jock energy and experiences, and also my pre-comedy experiences to, that really kind of like I carry with me, and not necessarily in a good way. And then sometimes I'll see myself on, like, I'm working on a project also, and I can go into like how we argue over words and argue over comedy, and then I think like, who are you? Where's your I don't want to go into like specifics here, but yeah, there's kind of debates, and I feel like I don't get that freedom. That's one reason why I do podcasts, because I get that freedom to talk, and maybe it's because I'm Jewish or I'm neurotic or there's heart disease in my family. I got to get it out. And when I don't, and it really is hard when it's your living or your own production and it's your own, introduction to America, and it's truly not you getting to do that. So I'm dealing with that, and I think it's all a combination, a hybrid of everything. Hopefully when I come out on the other side, I'll grow from it, but...
Yeah, I don't know you very well, but, like, from what little I know, like, and just from hearing you tonight, like, you're revealing stuff about yourself, but also you're hard on yourself about it.
Yeah, a little too hard.
Like, it's almost like you're, like, and not to overstate it, like, it's almost like you're kind of gay bashing yourself about a gay experience. Like, you're saying, hey, I did this thing, and I'm not proud of it. But you're
well, I mean, growing up, I was called, gay boy. I was a nice guy, a nice kid. Now being nice, I think in Hollywood, or whatever we call this, has helped me because people want nice people around, and hustling and hard work, which I got, helped me in baseball. But I think growing up, maybe in the Valley at the time, going to public schools, getting bussed out to South Central. Maybe it made me tougher. I don't know. And then playing baseball with not necessarily hate, but a little bit of hazing and bullying. It was kind of, stuck with me. And then when I started doing comedy, opened up a lot. But now when I see myself on TV sometimes, I kind of see I would pick on myself. Yeah, and I don't know what that is. I don't know where that comes from.
Well, that's just your own self-loathing, probably.
Yeah.
It's probably something that we don't all see. That it's something that you trained yourself to.
But I've learned, especially lately, turn it into comedy, turn it into something, use it as a positive. And I get a lot of support from people. Again, I'm older, and Twitter and the internet and all that stuff. It has helped me, and doing the podcast.
Yeah, there's the things you seem like a very soft, emotionally very soft guy.
Sad guy.
But you exude a very your voice, your posture is very loud and you seem very sportsy and very macho and gruff, but you can still you can't totally hide the fact that there's a softness to you, which is not gay. It's just being soft.
And but that's that's kind of a negative term in sports if you're labeled as soft.
Yeah, but we're not.
What I mean? We're not playing sports.
Exactly, we're not playing.
So
sports.
I'm okay with that, and I am getting used to that. It's just maybe it's some of those jock sensibilities in me, and the fact that I'm still around that world a little bit. I'm around Major League Baseball.
You certainly taken a major step by talking about your ladyboy experience in Thailand.
It is. I'm getting it out there, and it's also just other things, talking about it, owning it, and again, not being hard on myself, and then I don't want to be. You just keep doing it, and I think you just work through it, and the fans, and it's I don't need therapy, to be honest with you. For me, and I do speak loud. I mean, I am, and that's one thing I do, kind of I do the sensitivity, because I am a nice guy, and I'll put it out, and it's well, you're being loud, you're this, and it's professionally, I have learned how to do warm up, and I start off nice. Okay, we're going to do this. And then I crank it. I work at the midnight show with Chris Hardwick kind of thing. I go in nice.
Yeah, but we don't want you to be quiet. We want you to be loud.
You want it. Because there's an audience, and that's the what I think about. It's all right, I'm doing a podcast. I've had some experiences when I've done video podcasts, and I've played completely to the camera, and then people in the podcast feel it's too much. And now I'm doing a live show. I can play to the audience, and I feel maybe the podcast, a lot of things going on. But you know what? I'm comfortable here with Dan, Jeff, Dustin, and the...
what's the fear, what's the fear, Brody, that, I'm sorry to cut you off,
That's okay. I like...
what would be the big... We talked about this, I think, last time, about the way we're perceived, or a couple shows ago, about... We all exude something that we're not in control of. Dan wants to be perceived as smart, and also people come to him and they want Dan to say that he's smart. What do you want people to see you as, or what are you afraid that people see in you that you wish they didn't see?
Weird.
Weird how?
Just weird, thinking about stuff that doesn't matter, that's a whole other thing.
What's the fear of being perceived as weird?
I don't want to be. It's like a Pandora's box. It's you talk about it, you bring attention to it. It's things that we notice. I'm sure, you're an actor, you see yourself on TV. Some people can't watch themselves. Johnny Depp doesn't watch his movies. Jared Leto freaked out. I know that's there. That's normal, but it feels like it affects me a little bit more.
But you're doing a Comedy Central show now, right? Are you?
Yeah, I'm doing that, and some of that is seeing myself on that. My fear, that's all I was thinking about. My fear regarding that would be one, weird. So that's kind of.
You don't want people to think you're weird.
I don't mind it, but I don't want it to be a Pandora's box of weirdness. If we could turn it into a joke.
You mean they're going to find out you're weird in what way? What's
like obsessive about my eyebrows, weird about my hairline, my mannerisms. Do I think I'm gay? Why do you even think you're, that kind of stuff. Okay.
And if you revealed all that, if you took off your hat and showed us your hair and your eyebrows,
do that. I'm bald.
Yeah.
I'm bald. It doesn't bother me, but I just felt cooler doing this today.
Yeah.
And I was in Toronto.
But so
I'm off. It's off. I'm hiding behind some stuff. The glasses kind of.
Believe me, I hide behind a suit. I hide behind a weird hairdo all the time.
Great hair.
Well, thank you, but it's all an act. It's all affectation.
I hide behind my Aunt Rachel's beautiful pantyhose-clad legs. I just play with my Matchbox cars, rolling them gently up and down her calves.
Is that where it comes from?
I feel like researching that stuff.
Did she have red hair?
I don't know. I had an aunt that had red hair that married into the family, but I was into redheads since Nicole McHugh in kindergarten.
Who's Nicole McHugh?
Who wasn't she? Nicole McHugh was the first girl that I ever felt hormones generated in my body about. It was kindergarten, and the teachers would call your name, and then every time the teacher would call my name, she'd say, Daniel Harmon, Nicole McHugh would go, and then every time she'd say Nicole McHugh, I'd go, and we never spoke. We never spoke to each other, but she was my first lover.
Well, that's one of the most beautiful relationships I've ever heard of.
And she had copper red curly hair, and but so did Batgirl. So I don't know where it came from, because Batgirl was like a huge, a cork got popped there sexually. I would get so excited. The opening credits of Batman, my brother would be like, my brother loved Batman, and we would play Batman together. We'd put ski caps and stuff on the banister to the basement and pretend it was the Bat pole and get dressed up as Bat, get to the bottom of the stairs and go, I heard the Joker's broken out, let's go get him. And we'd watch Batman together, and then there was a title card in the Batman title sequence, because I now being a producer, I guess I know that it must have meant that Von Craig was probably 6 of 13 or something, like she was recurring but not regular, and so there was an opening title card that was either there or not there, and it wasn't a picture of Batgirl, but it was always there when she was going to be in the episode. It would say, and so is Batgirl, and I would my body would just twitch, even though I was absolutely years and years away from generating any kind of fluid that would have anything to do with that. I was just transfixed, and I was so excited that Batgirl was going to be involved, and that she would be flying around, whipping her red wig around and kicking people, and very often getting Batman there was a lot of nylon or spandex or whatever, and a lot of bondage, a lot of which I'm not a bondage guy, but a lot of when I was a kid, it was a lot of I remember being a kid and squeezing myself in between couch cushions and getting really excited and thinking about Batgirl. And then I saw Temple Grandin, and she had the squeeze machine, and I was wondering, was it a sexual thing, or was there I don't know, I just being, I used to get rolled up like a sausage in a blanket, and so I couldn't move. And
do you think your sexuality is a moving target, or do you think that you're slowly honing in on a fixed target that's always been there? Do you think it changes as you grow, or do you think it's something that it's always been there, that you're just now getting better at finding?
No, I don't think I'm good at finding it. I have fetishes, and I think that are almost, as the name would suggest, they're almost removed from proper sexuality. I think that I fetishize things, and then it's it removes me from sex. My fetish for women's legs, clad in a material that essentially removes the chaos from them, that turns them more into cartoons. It's all about removal and like fully clothed women just hanging out, and like I'm just sitting there going, "Bleh." And I gratify myself, and then I'm done. You know, I did my little penis sneeze, and I go, you know,
Sneeze? No.
It's not romantic, and it's not sexual.
Stop having penis sneeze.
And then when you fall in love with a woman, you know, and then you welcome her into your life, and you like then during the courtship phase, like there's none of that going on, and because you love this person, and then your sex life is involved with theirs and the courting of them and stuff, and then I go back to work, and then all of a sudden I'm like Gollum again, like regarding this, you know, I'm just using like this fetish object to like get through the day, to answer your question, I haven't been honing in on anything. I think there's always been like this sort of childish asexual impulse that's like unhealthy. It's like an outcropping of sexuality.
Could you just masturbate on your lunch break? That would.
I often do, my friend.
There you go. I mean, I've done it in some strange places. I do want to go back to this because you can see my little OCD working. I just want to have closure on this one thing talking about the show. I don't want to think too weird. Okay, too weird. That's the jock guy in me, but weird is okay. The gay stuff where it goes, I can't be involved in baseball. It's a very jock world.
Yeah.
It's conservative. I've done a lot of stuff for baseball. It's in my heart. I would hate to be there and go, oh, there's the guy who goes to Bangkok. We can't have, I don't know. I have some like nightmare. Not a nightmare. It's just a weird thought. And the other thing is just like unfunny and not reflective of me. Those are my fears. Everything else I let go. Like I'll be on a Nick Kroll show, or I'll do Chelsea Lately, or I'll do, a scat. It's like, go ahead and do it. But because my show is so personal, and we talk about ladyboy stuff, we talk about 10% gay stuff, and it's kind of not in my hands. When I do it here, or I do it on stage, or at the Comedy Store, or on a podcast, it's kind of funny. Yeah. And I know I've gotten traction on it based on Twitter or emails. But when you hand it over to somebody else to do it, and then you see what they do, it's like, not your vision. And then you have to kind of give notes based on their vision, and then it's like it's like a C+. Right. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Now I could be, being too hard on myself again, thinking worst case scenario, but that's who I am, and that's why I'm carrying this stress.
I would probably guess that like what's funny about you, what's like enjoyable, marketable, successful about you is the fact that we want to watch you go through that struggle. We want to watch a guy that throws a wicked slider or a curveball and a fastball and a breaking ball and all this stuff, and also goes to Bangkok and might have an encounter with a ladyboy. And also, we don't want you to be like totally okay with that. We want you. We want to watch.
You have to come home to your kitchenette and say, okay, look, here's what happened in Thailand. All right, now don't interrupt me. Some stuff went down, and I don't want you to judge me before I finish. Okay, here's what happened, and
it's almost like that, like a rebuttal. That's what I would say, like just like a walking Brody or whatever they do after the shows. I don't know. Like, just give me 30 minutes. It'll be closure. It's the little OCD.
Well,
in me,
the protagonist that you are is the struggle. Like, not to be a pedant, but like Brothers Karamazov. There's two brothers. One's really idealistic. One's really realistic. The middle brother, Dimitri, he is torn between those two things. It's the struggle between here's what I think I am, here's what I wish I were, here's what I know I am, here's how I'm perceived, here's how I don't want to be perceived. We want to watch you fucking flip and flop like a fish out of water about being you, what are you, like 6'4"? How tall are you?
6'2", 211 pounds. I take psyllium husk every day.
See, exactly. Look at that. There's that part of you that is so macho, and then the other part, like keep struggling for our benefit.
I'm okay with that. It's talks like this, Jeff. It's like when I get that reassurance, like, Brody, it's okay, it's all right. Because sometimes, production-wise, I don't want to complain. I was, I just need a little bit of hand-holding sometimes, especially with the subject matter. You're dealing with the guy who is a little on the edge. So I went out on this tour. I was on this comedy tour, and it's like, sometimes I just felt like it's hard to communicate on your own personal project via Vimeo and email. And at least I felt like Let's verbalize something. So it's tough. It's a struggle. I know that's how shows are done. Hopefully, I'll get another chance. I just don't want to have a heart attack. I don't want to have a heart attack, and I don't want my Molotov cocktails through my one.
The one thing that we don't want out of you, we don't ever want you, Brody Stevens, or anybody here in Harmontown. The one like thing that we all like agree on is we don't anyone to have to change themselves for anybody else. But we also want everybody to like become the best version of themselves. Just keep being conflicted. Like that's really beautiful.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Because that's how you grow, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. I'll take that, Jeff.
Keep your fists in the air and keep being soft and hard at the same time. You're a coin spinning on its edge. It's great.
Okay, I could take that. It's a good metaphor. I'll keep doing it. I'm learning to deal with it. Exercise, meditation, podcasting. I'm going to get through that.
Brody Stevens, everybody.
Listen to Festival of Friends.
Unferal friendship. You got it.
Brody Stevens.
Thanks,
Festival of
Dan.
Friends.
Thanks, Jeff.
That felt good.
You dismissed Brody right at 9/11.
There's no such thing as accidents, man.
It's the second worst thing that ever happened to this country. Brody leaving the stage at 9/11.
Wait, should we have kept him up? Should he just stay here? Should we keep him out here? Or no?
No, I wanted to because I offered him in the green room. I was like, well, your options are you can come up later and then you can play D&D with us because Aaron's not here tonight. But no, he wanted to actually. I think I brought him up too late and kept him here too long.